Right guys, you requested it, so we're going to do this today. So we're going to talk you through the best way to do a deadlift. Very complicated movement, and a movement that when it's done wrong, it can be really harmful, but I do think it gets quite a bad rep. You know, like people are often saying that it's going to give you a bad back, don't deadlift, and I personally believe that it's perfectly safe if you do it right. It doesn't mean we all need to be like Eddie Hall, maxing out all the time, and I think that's where people get it all mistaken. If you're going to try and lift as heavy as you possibly can, yeah, you might get injured, but if you do this with good form, really concentrate on what you're doing, it can be just a really valuable exercise for you. Right, so first thing we're going to do with this is, I like to coach this from the top, not from the bottom. If we coach from the bottom, I feel like I've got to there's like 5 things to think about, whereas if we break it down from the top, we can just simplify it down the chain a little more. So we're going to take the bar, and we're going to do an overhand, underhand grip. You can see there, right hand over, left hand under. What that's going to do, it's going to stop the bar escaping from us. So as we get fatigue, the bar is naturally going to fall out of our hands. Now, if we've got one hand over and one hand under, they're working against each other. If they were double overhand, the bar would be escaping that way, out of our fingers. Same if it was underhand, it would go out that way. If we do that way, the two work against each other. So we, in theory, should have a stronger grip. So we take our overhand, underhand grip, squeeze the shoulder blades back together. Now, this is massively crucial to this. Your posture is everything. And if you were to round the upper back, if you were to round the upper back as we start to deadlift, the force is actually multiplied. I think like 30 times multiplier in force down at the lumbar, down at the bottom of your back. Now, we absolutely don't want that. We don't want to put any vertebrae or any discs under any stress. So it's super important that between the shoulder blades, we are as strong as we possibly can be. So with our super strong shoulder blades like that, the first thing I want you to do is called a hip hinge. And we're going to hip hinge till the barbell goes past our knees, okay? Ready for this? Hip hinge, barbell past my knees. Yeah? Simple. Think of this like, I only want one joint to move in the start of this deadlift, and that's my hip joint, where my spine meets my pelvis. So again, shoulder blades back, hip hinge, get just past the knee. Boom. Yeah? So that is the first movement I want you to work on, okay? Practicing that overhand, underhand grip. The shoulder blades retracted, the hip hinge to be on the knee, just past the knee. Now then, once we've done that hip hinge, we've got to grips with the shoulder blades back, the hip hinge, past the knee. It's time to take it to the floor. Now, it's important to understand here that the angle of your spine shouldn't get any greater. We shouldn't continue bending over down to the floor, okay? We should ideally, in a perfect world, hip hinge to there, the barbell just past my knee. Then, I don't continue that path. Once I've gone past my knees, it's all legs, baby. From there, floor with the legs, back up. Yeah? And on the way back up, we're just reversing the chain. So it goes hips, legs, legs, hips. Hips, legs, legs, hips. Yeah? Think of it like that. I think that's a nice way to build a good rhythm with this and a good understanding. All right, let's take it to the floor. So again, watch my spine angle now. Once I've gone past my knee, the angle of my spine stays exactly the same, and I just use my legs. Ready? Hip hinge, shoulder blades are back tight. There's no rounding to my back. I've just gone past my knees. Now it's all legs. Boom. Then the reverse of that on the way up. Legs, back. Let's go again. Hip hinge, below the knee. Squat to floor, boom. Reverse on the way up. Good, perfect. Now, something I forgot to mention, it's not massively crucial, I can't believe I overlooked it, but the barbell should never come away from your body. It's going to stay on your legs the whole time. You watch a great deadlifter, they're going to have bruises. They might even have cut their shins on the way up. That barbell has stayed close to their body so we can keep the center of mass further into the middle and reduce the risk of more load on the back. Think, if that barbell is away from you, it's going to force me to round or potentially force me to round. If it's closer to me, I can retract those scapula and put the spine, the lumbar spine, in a better position. Okay? So now we know about the hip hinge, we know about keeping the shoulder blades back right at the start, but we need to remind you that on the way up from the floor, now we've got the pattern of it, I need you to make sure that that spine doesn't deload at the bottom. So when we get to the bottom of the rep, we're not going to go soft. Yeah? We're going to maintain tension throughout. So I'm all the way to the top. Hip hinge, down, boom. I am still holding tension through my legs, tension through my back. I'm never letting go of that. Tension. Boom. Yeah. If we are to get sloppy with that and we go hip hinge, down and relax at the bottom, look what's happened to my back. I've gone like a turtle with a shell. I've gone a little bit round, and then when I start to pull up, if that's weak, I'm going to go boom. Early extension, straighten my legs, but my back not work, and then you're going to be really reliant on your lower back to get to the top, which we absolutely do not want. Yeah. So, third tip: maintain tension through the bottom. Hip hinge, past the knee, legs, maintain tension, back up. Yeah. So those shoulder blades have to stay as strong as you can possibly keep them the whole way through the lift. Right, so there you have it. That's everything you need to do the perfect deadlift. So, first thing we spoke about, grip, overhand, underhand. Then, shoulder blades back, scapulas retracted. Hip hinge, legs up, reverse. Maintain tension through the bottom so that we don't get any rounding of our back on the way up. Okay? If you just practice that, start light, like I've done today, start nice and light, ingrain those patterns into you over and over again, you'll absolutely nail this deadlift. It'll be a really safe movement. And there aren't many things that are as good for your legs, glutes, posture as a deadlift. Right, on to the next one, everybody. I will see you soon.